back for the weekly dose of weird, and this week's topic is a topic that I absolutely love. As you can see, our weekly dose of weird shirts that we have, they are not available yet, but they will be. This one, if I can get it out of frame, Bigfoot,
I
notorious.
got a cow about to get milked for its chocolate milk.
But you see, we have the shirts on, weekly dose of weird, and this week's topic is the notorious B.I.G. Foot. Bigfoot. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I do.
Why do you believe in Bigfoot?
Why not? Why not? Have you not seen a Goofy movie?
I have seen a Goofy movie.
If
I
if
love a Goofy movie.
if I hope Bigfoot has as much rhythm as he does in real life,
That was Boogie Down Bigfoot.
the way that they depicted him to have in that movie.
That was Boogie Down Bigfoot. But
That was the Bigfoot we all need. No, look, I really do believe in Bigfoot.
to you,
To me,
what is the most compelling evidence that you have either heard yourself, heard from other places, seen yourself, or seen from other sources?
well, I'm a late night uh, rabbit hole YouTube video searcher, so
Okay.
I've definitely seen all types of footage of Bigfoot being, walking, the
Mhm.
old school video of Bigfoot walking in the terrain or the
Right, right, right,
forest.
right, right. That's
You
the
know,
Patterson Gimlin film.
you you know better than me.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
could tell you, based on the video, I'll be able to tell you. Yeah, definitely, that's the one I've seen.
So do you believe that's your number one reference when you when
That would be number one.
okay.
You got all types of people who go out looking for Bigfoot, recording sounds that they've
Mhm.
heard in response to them, either sending out random calls or even people finding footprints of a big humanoid anomaly that has left tracks.
Right, right, right.
I believe Bigfoot's footprint is in a museum somewhere or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Bigfoot is definitely something that can be something that's could be real for sure.
Absolutely. Well, for me, my the thing that I like to reference is what we're about to take a look or what we're about to listen to,
Okay.
because the most compelling evidence for me is not an actual video of Bigfoot, because they're very, very hard to come by, videos of Bigfoot. But for me, it's the Ron Moorhead recordings from the Sierra Nevada mountain range, right? So for those of you that don't know, I mean, if you haven't really paid much attention to Bigfoot at all, what you're about to hear is a video from, or it's an audio recording from, I believe, 1970s, 1972, maybe somewhere around there. But it's a guy named Ron Moorhead and Al Berry. And Ron Moorhead, they used to go up to this camping range, and they were hunters, and they hunted up in this range. And they put a microphone about 40 feet up into a tree
Okay.
because they were having these weird experiences with what they believed to be a Sasquatch,
Okay.
right? So they put the mic up there, they got these recordings, and man, let me tell you, when I first heard these recordings, I had a pair of Beats headphones on, right? Volume all the way up, right?
All right.
And when I tell you I got goosebumps, because what you're going to hear is two very distinct, um, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You're going to hear two very distinct Bigfoots, Sasquatches, if we can call them that, because
And this is audio, so
this
you
is
don't think
just
this is
audio.
like two people standing on opposite sides of each other making some off the wall noises to make it seem as if they are catching something to be said or to be known as Bigfoot.
Yes, sir.
Bigfoot.
Before we even get into this, in the comments, let us know, what do you think Bigfoot actually is? Do you think Bigfoot is humanoid, an ancient species of maybe ape? Do you think he's extraterrestrial? Because there's also a theory that Bigfoot is some type of alien that's what they call a dimensional jumper. He can jump from dimensions. I mean, because all the reports
Yeah, I
that
don't know
we
about
get,
that one, buddy.
all the reports that we get about Bigfoot, there's always some type of ghostly element, if I might
Bigfoot's not
say,
out
with
here
Bigfoot.
doing the Rick, bro.
Hey,
Bigfoot's not out here doing the Rick.
hey,
He doesn't have no portal
but do you
gun.
know though?
I mean,
But do
I
you
think
know?
I think it'd be more likely to catch that on camera
So how
than
about this? We're gonna, as we do here on Weekly Dose of Weird, we're gonna go through all of this stuff that we have
right.
for you guys in this episode. Because, like
Yep.
I said, I love Bigfoot. I believe Bigfoot. Bigfoot's real. Can't convince me otherwise. But
Can't convince me otherwise.
at the end of this podcast, after reviewing this, we're gonna give our personal opinions on what we think Bigfoot
And
is.
we want your personal
And-
opinions as
exactly.
well.
Exactly.
Feedback is highly recommended here, so make sure you comment all your thoughts and your 2 cents. We want your 2 cents.
Also, if you yourself has had a Bigfoot encounter
Or know somebody that
or
did.
know somebody that has,
Exactly.
please comment down
Let
below.
us know.
I'll just say this: no story is too far fetched. If these things really happen to you, let us know. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get into the Sasquatch Sierra Sounds by Ron Moorhead and Al Berry. And this is wild, man. Y'all check this out. Okay, let me pause it right there.
So yeah, what we're hearing is that was him yelling back at them,
Yeah,
right?
so
Okay.
he's actually he's hearing these things out there make some type of vocalization,
Yeah.
and he's doing his best to try to
Mimic
exactly what they're saying.
okay.
But the language that you're about to hear these things use is just, I mean, we're fans of
It's beyond belief.
it's weird. It's Weekly Dose of Weird worthy. But this is just me. Um, I'm a big anime fan. I watch a lot of anime. I love Japanese culture. Like I said in the last podcast, I love Japanese culture.
Love
As long
Japanese
as
culture.
as well with Scott, but the almost like the dialect, it sounds almost like an ancient samurai.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
It sounds almost like, and this is just me.
I can't wait for this.
I've seen other videos that have described it as, they call it samurai chatter. That's what they call it. But we're gonna dive in. We're gonna get back to this video, and we're gonna let you hear it. You be the judge. All right. So just going over a little of that, man. Ain't that weird?
Flabbergasted.
Isn't that weird, man?
I am at a loss of words.
I mean, what does that?
What did he say? Who do you speak Japanese?
No, I mean, I don't.
If we
I
have
mean,
anybody
okay,
out there
so
that speaks
I don't
that
speak,
speaks Japanese,
I don't speak Japanese.
Mandarin,
but we know,
we don't know. We don't know.
but-
Mandarin,
okay,
Japanese, Chinese. If you could maybe make out something
and that's just the beginning of it.
that they're saying, and
we're gonna get to like more toward the end of the video where the words actually start to come out.
oh,
and
it
you
gets
can actually
clearer.
hear them. But
Yeah.
the reason why I stopped this, because I forgot to give this context before I even started this video. A lot of y'all might be wondering, like, oh, this is BS. You know, these guys are just sitting there recording it. They're not scared. This, that, and the third. But when these guys went up to this camp, they built almost like this solidified structure out of tree logs or tree trunks, and they banded it all together with a steel cable. So they were inside of this structure. So it's not like they were just out in the open making calls.
Okay, hold on. So okay, because I heard the knocking, And the knocking sounded like they were knocking on something. Either
Would sound like you ever hit a baseball bat against something, like
yes,
like a wood
yes.
baseball bat.
So are we saying they were outside of the structure knocking in?
From, if I'm not mistaken, um, Ron had said that these things were actually quite a distance from them. They weren't up on the camp that they were at. They were actually out, some distance. So, with that being said, for them to hear the audio of these things and for these things to still be out a good distance, that means they were really loud.
And this is where again?
This is in Sierra Nevada mountain range. I'm gonna say like maybe Northern California. So let's get back into this. This is where it gets a little wild, man.
There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks. It's a hard act to follow.
Okay, am I tripping? No. But like, okay, I don't know if I can go back, man. Because like I said, I've listened. I've listened to this audio more than maybe 20, 30 times, right?
All I heard was that.
But I thought I was tripping the first time I heard it, but on this video, someone puts in the comments like it sounds like it says "Help, I'm dying." Like, help, I'm dying.
Okay,
like,
play
look,
that back.
We'll go back. Right?
Wow.
So if that thing is saying that
to lure them out, probably.
but maybe where did it get that from?
By killing somebody that screamed out, "Help!
I'm dying!" Right? So that's just bothersome in itself. And I mean, we haven't even got to the juicy part of the video
the
yet.
Japanese part. Bunny guy.
Maiwa.
Oh, Maiwa.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
All right, so let's unpack
What is there
what we
to
just
unpack?
heard, because
I don't know. It didn't even come with subtitles, bro.
I mean, it felt like it felt
didn't
like
even
it needed
come with subtitles.
It felt like it needed to come with subtitles, but
Oh,
that
man.
last little bit,
It sounded like a real dude, bro.
Most importantly, it sounds like a language, right? Like these are words picked up. These are words picked up by something. Yeah. Yeah. It's late, y'all. Scotty's losing. You guys, you guys in the comments, you guys watching the videos, we always want you guys to do your own research before you come to any conclusion. Don't take our word for it. Don't take anybody else's word for it. Do your own research and come to your own conclusion.
And not only that, come back and let us know what we either missed, what we were wrong on.
Talk to us. I mean, because we just go off of what we got and we give it to y'all. But yeah, that was the Ron Moorhead Sierra sounds, and like I said, we might touch back on this. There might.
Hey,
by
I
the
like
time
that.
we get back to it,
do you have anything else like that? That was very.
I mean, there's some more tapes that they have.
Can we read the comments? What are people saying about this?
Absolutely. Let's check out the comments.
Well, let's see what we got here.
We'll read the first couple ones.
We got this falling Leah says that she's Chinese Mandarin, a Chinese Mandarin speaker, and at 3:26, 3:28, she's saying that they're saying ni hao, which means hello in Chinese. And how ha.
Oh ha. How?
Answered, an echoed answer, right? You want to see what
These
what is?
timestamps?
Yeah, timestamps
All right,
326.
check it out. Okay. I mean, that definitely sounds like that.
Definitely.
I mean, and it's
I
comments
would
like
have
these.
to. I would have to see what it sounds like in native tongue. That's like my first time
It
hearing.
says, "Did you guys know that these recordings were heard 8 miles deep into the wilderness? This is not just some guys yelling. This is absolutely incredible evidence that something huge was out there communicating."
Just because Yellow 90 said that 3 years ago.
Okay, but here's the thing too. I've also watched other videos because this has captivated so many people,
Right.
even people in the educational field. There's been some research done by a few universities,
Mm-hmm.
and they found this
Yeah.
audio. This audio is
I think.
genuine.
I think. Well, we're probably not talking about the same one, but definitely, I have seen certain groups in that study this stuff, colleges that go out and do their
Yeah,
own
they've gone
investigation.
over these tapes.
There was this one group who sampled. They had got a sample of the Yeti or the Bigfoot's yelling, calling, and they went deep into the forest where they amplified the sound on repeat in intervals, trying to get a response, and they end up getting a response.
I mean, I think this is both how we feel right here. This is both absolutely terrifying and absolutely intriguing.
Fantastic.
And that couldn't be more accurate. With that being said, yeah, they've done research on the tapes.
Right.
They've had language experts come in and try to see if this is actual any type of language.
Right.
And from what they said, this could be some type of language. And there's a lot more diving down onto that, but it's just how it is. Apparently,
it's definitely something to dive into. What else you got for us? What's next?
the Kandahar giant.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
You have?
I have.
What have you heard?
I've heard very little and not enough.
Okay, well, let me inform you because this is Weekly Dose of Weird, and that's what we're here for. It was a YouTuber. I'm not sure if it was Mr. Ballin, but I think I've heard it I heard it before Mr. Ballin, and then Mr. Ballin touched on it, right? But shout out to Mr. Ballin. Hopefully we can get a shout out one day back. Weekly Dose of Weird. Mr. Ballin was up. Shout us out. Don't be scared.
Shout out.
We love you, man. We appreciate your work. Watch your stuff all the time. But the Kandahar giant, the military, I don't know if it was a recon mission.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there were supplies out there. I don't know if some men had got lost and they were trying to find them. But they ended up.
This is
in
about
Afghanistan.
This is about the soldiers who
they encountered a red-headed giant
and they killed it. Yes,
that
I
is
have.
this.
Yes, I have heard about this. Yes, this was recent too. This was like what, a few years ago.
I don't know if it was because you got to remember the war in Iraq started earlier.
Yeah, but this was in the 2000s. That's recent.
Like the early 2000s.
That's our lifetime though.
Yeah.
Like this is not like in the 70s where we weren't alive.
But I don't want to spoil it.
All right, let's get into it.
So we'll go ahead and get into the footage.
I'm ready.
It all began when in 2002 a group of soldiers went missing while on patrol in the remote region of Kandahar in the south of Afghanistan. When they failed to make radio contact for some time, the army sent in a special operations unit to investigate. Then, while searching for the missing unit high up in the mountains, the special forces unit came across a cave with scattered army equipment around, but no sign of the missing soldiers, and that's when they chanced upon the Kandahar giant. Though the tale grows with each telling, some reports suggesting that the humanoid grew as tall as 15 feet. This red-headed giant with 6 digits, leather moccasins, and smelling like dead bodies suddenly emerged from a cave and attacked the soldiers, impaling one with a spear. And that's when the soldiers opened fire. Between them, the squad was armed with M4 carbines, an M249 light machine gun, and an M107 Barrett 50 cal sniper rifle. This much firepower concentrated on one target for 1 second, let alone 30, would be extremely destructive. After the troops killed the giant, they called in for an extraction. A Chinook helicopter came, and they loaded the giant into the Chinook, which carried it to a transport plane, and then no one ever saw it again. The soldiers were forced to sign an SF-312, the government's version of a non-disclosure agreement in order to keep them all quiet. But eventually, the soldiers broke their silence, because as one of the men would say later, people have the right to know the truth. In 2016, Snopes reached out to the Department of Defense about the Kandahar giant incident. The Department of Defense told the outlet in no uncertain terms that they had no record of information about a Special Forces member killed by a giant in Kandahar. L.A. Marzulli told several websites that the United States government was covering up this spectacular story, and that those in
And for those of y'all who don't know who L.A. Marzulli is, he's got some great content out there. He talks a lot about giants, the Paraka skulls, which we're going to get into in another episode when we start talking about extraterrestrials. You know, that's always the big thing, extraterrestrials. But no, he has great content. If you don't know who he is, if you're not familiar with his content, go check him out. So, what we just saw right there, how credible do you think that? Because it's a military story, right? There's always an issue when it's a military story
Look,
because it immediately gets
I'm
declassified.
gonna let you guys in on a little secret, okay? It was during the prime peak of the woke era,
Okay.
and the government came out with all this documentation, confirming some things. Like, for example, they had documentation that it's possible to walk through walls.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
The alien contact that they had and things of that nature.
Mhm.
It's something like WikiLeaks. For those of y'all who don't know what WikiLeaks is, it was a place where information was dumped that nobody wanted certain people to know about, and they found it out. In this case, the government gave out all this information, and believe it or not, Sasquatch was in there. Now, I didn't personally go and look into it. I just know of it. You can check it out yourself, but they're claiming that they have not only tangible proof that they're real, but they have had specimens of underling Bigfoots, little Bigfoots caught
Right.
and
Right.
tested on.
Right. I mean, just like one of our commenters pointed out, some people believe mountains are bodies of the giants. Aerial views show mountain ranges shaped like people.
And
Subject,
trees.
yeah.
Oh, we won't get into that.
When we get on that subject, we're gonna dive really deep because it's a really deep subject. The hole is endless when it gets to that. But
factuals.
we're gonna get back to this Bigfoot. What we have here next is probably the most famous Bigfoot documentation. It is the Patterson Gimlin film. And what this video shows is what they believe is a female Bigfoot, right? It's what they believe is a female Bigfoot. So, Weird Family, we're going to go ahead and get to that.
What's she doing in the middle of the day with all that cake, just walking out here looking like that? That's dangerous.
You should be put in jail.
That's dangerous. Look at all that scrumptiousness.
Okay.
Okay, look, is that the same one?
Yeah, it's the same, but it's
Why
60 frames per second.
And the other one
I mean, we can run it as well, but it's literally the same thing. They're just clearing it up for you.
Oh, okay.
Giving you more of a clear
I don't
path.
know, man. That hair looks too neat. That hair looks too well kept. Look how well kept that hair looks. That's well kept, my boy. I just came out the shower, shampoo, conditioner, and straightened my hair right there. Wouldn't you say so?
So I mean, how do you feel?
How do you feel? I want to know how you feel. I know how I feel.
The footage, even though it's renowned as like some of the more sincere, genuine footage, I personally don't feel either two ways about it. Like, I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's fake. Like I said, to me, the Ron Moorhead tapes really lock me in.
Yeah, those tapes.
Those tapes lock
How do you
me
feel? Which saying, Panthers wonder how they keep their coat so magnificent.
You got a point.
Listen, I got you. I feel you. You know,
got a point.
But
got a point.
Panthers.
You ever look at a panther and wonder how their coat?
Let's break this down real quick. I'm gonna entertain this. Panthers are cats, right? Cats. A lot of cats are known to clean themselves and keep good hygiene.
But you don't think this Bigfoot
Well,
would?
well,
I mean,
well. I'm gonna use my context clues and decent logic.
let us know in the comments. Let us
decent
know in the
logic.
comments.
Listen,
Do you think the
if-
Patterson Gimlin film is real? Yes or no? Let us know in the comments.
we look at monkeys, we look at cavemen, we look at at Sasquatch.
Mhm.
There's no way all these three. Like,
Yeah, brown bears are pretty clean. Bears, hey, I've seen bears with some fantastic coats, buddy.
that's because they got Goldilocks brushing their hair.
Come on now.
Look, guys. Yeah,
I mean, but
look,
I mean, you could find a river source.
the man had waves on his
but
back.
you could find a river source, right?
Yeah,
and if you're
but he had
Bigfoot, you're
waves
gonna
on
find a
his
river
back,
source.
bro.
You're gonna clean
The
yourself.
boy looked
right?
like he wears a whole body do rag.
I mean, okay.
I'm telling you, it's just too well kept. I'm telling you.
I mean, like I said, I don't feel either way about the footage. There's been a lot of debunking of the footage, so
Right.
if that's something you're into. Feel free to go ahead. and look
Let me
into it.
guys, let me know what you feel about this. Does this Sasquatch just have back and he's all cap or not?
Let's jump back into Native American history, right? Because
Okay.
if we're talking about something that's in the Sierra Nevada mountain range, it's in the
Yeah.
United States, right?
Right.
And then it would have to be something that's been around, and somebody would have to have encountered it before us, right?
Right.
Well, lucky for us, we have that. There's plenty of stories from Native American folklore that talk about Bigfoot-like creatures and the wars that they had with them, right? So we're not going to show the whole video. We're just going to show a little bit, the juicy part. So we're just going to play this part, and if you want to watch the whole video, we'll leave the link for that down in the comment section, in the description. Okay, so just a little context on this video. I do believe, so people, women and children, like it says up here in the heading, women and children are being stolen from these tribes people, and I guess they followed them back to wherever they were. They got a group of people together, followed them back. So now they're about to confront these things.
Literally stumbled into. Bodies, dozens of them. Loved ones, barely recognizable through mutilation and decay. Their flesh had been ripped away in chunks, devoured by what appeared to be a pack of rabid animals. Their bodies, what was left of them, had been stacked in a putrid pile at the far end of the clearing. Clouds of fat, glutinous flies swarmed over them as their droning buzz reached an impenetrable din. But before LaFleur could muster his men in pursuit, the true face of their enemy stepped into the light of day. What LaFleur and the Tubbies were confronted with was no human adversary, like nothing they had ever seen.
I hate to do this to y'all, but we got a lot more content that we want to touch on.
Hey, that was getting good. I'm not gonna lie.
It was getting good, and that's why I had to stop
was
it,
getting
because
good.
if not,
Shame
we're-
on you for
shame
getting
on me,
getting
shame
me worked
me.
up.
Go ahead, shame
Getting me worked up to see them go into battle, and then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, we got more content.
Yeah, we got more content. So if you want to check this video out and see what happens, I'm gonna leave you on a suspenseful note.
I'm definitely gonna go back.
Native
and watch
warriors
that one.
retaliate after women and children are stolen. This is wartime stories. So if you want to check that out, feel free to check that out. Man, what a situation to be in, you know? I mean, I believe
I just want to point out something.
I believe
I just look. I just want to point out something. I'm gonna just come out and say it. Okay. The other Bigfoot was just way too clean. This man just said to himself, they were gnarly. They were gnarly looking, matted hair, slim, muscular, humanoid. Had their lips curled up so you could see their teeth. He literally was describing the Bigfoot from the Goofy movie, though.
But you do make a great point, though. That footage, you know, does look a little clean. It does look a little clean.
Looks like
the next thing we want to go into.
Not that one.
So we're just gonna go over some images. Because,
oh yeah, look, that one right
you know,
there. That's what I was talking about.
Bigfoot is something that's been talked about in history.
Everywhere.
What we like to do
Everywhere.
is we like to check our resources, cross-check our references. So we like to go through ancient history. I love to go through ancient history because majority of things that I'm looking for are there. So we have this
Look
image right here.
Look at this one in the middle
And,
with the eyes. Is that blood coming out their eyes? What is that?
I mean, it could be.
That's gnarly looking.
It could be, but this is an image that you find on cave art, on rock depiction.
Yeah, man, can you get a bigger?
I can get you that.
That's wow. That's crazy.
And let me see.
I wonder why they made the eyes look like that.
I mean that it has these little lines going through.
I wonder what the white outline means. Like they were just.
Who knows, man?
But
crazy. Like, you know, these are huge things. I mean, there's so.
What is that one right there?
This one right
here? Yeah. What is this?
So this looks like an ancient deity, maybe some type of don't know what that hat could be.
Bigfoot petroglyph.
But look at its feet. It's got big feet.
Damn, that thing does got some.
And but look, check this out. Wait.
What's up,
wait. Let's check this out. Can we count how many fingers this thing has?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, yeah, he did say we just watched a movie of 6.
Well, we're gonna get more. We're gonna talk more about 6 fingers when we get the giants. But we'll talk more about 6 fingers because that plays a big key in the giants. And we have more pictures here. I think that might be Enkidu, which we're about to get into. But let's go over some more footage that we got for you guys. And this is from the Paiutes. And this is a Native American folklore here. And this is called the Big Fire.
The Paiute are a Native American population who originally lived in the western United States, specifically in the Sierra Nevada region. They tell of sharing these lands with a race of giants.
Before we move on, did you notice what she said?
No. Oh, Sierra Nevada region. Oh.
Where do the Ron Moorhead tapes come from?
Yeah.
Same area. So now we have Weird
that
Family.
Boy putting it together.
Weird Family. We're moving in the right direction. We are putting these things together. So let's go on.
Specifically in the Sierra Nevada region. They tell of sharing these lands with a race of giants, with long red hair known as Sete Kao in America in their language. These giants were described as much larger than the Paiute, with incredible physical strength. The giants lived in caves in the mountains, and initially had a peaceful relationship with the Paiute, but eventually began to exhibit hostile behavior towards the Native Americans. The giants would steal food and kidnap Paiute women and children, and despite the Paiute's efforts to defend themselves, the situation worsened. The Paiute decided to ally with other native tribes in the area to fight the giants. After a long war, the natives were able to defeat the giants, but many of them fled to the mountains and disappeared forever. For why the giants became hostile towards the Paiute, the legend does not provide a clear explanation.
That's an interesting story in itself.
The Paiutes.
Paiute.
What would you call a female Bigfoot? You're not like a Sasquatch. You're not going to see a sassy.
I mean, there's probably a name, a sassy.
You're not. You're not gonna see any of those. You're not gonna see hairy boobs.
Let us know in the comments. What would you call female Bigfoot? Because I'm pretty sure there's a name that's already out there. Sasquatchina. Don't know. We've been talking about Bigfoot specifically in North America, right? We haven't really touched on. I don't really want to get too far into the Yeti because there's still other stories that we want to put in, and that's for another episode. But we're going to move over to Sumeria. And in ancient Sumeria, are you familiar with Gilgamesh? The Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah, Gilgamesh was like this half human, half god.
He was a god king. I believe he was.
He was one of the. He was
two
big
parts
honcho.
Human, 1 part god.
I know he was big honcho. Nobody messed with him.
Yeah, he was a big deal. But in those stories, Gilgamesh's companion with a guy or an entity named Enkidu. And Enkidu is the man of the wild, the man of the woods. But he rivaled the same strength as Gilgamesh. So you have to put that into comparison. You have to tell yourself, okay, look, if Gilgamesh was 2 parts human, 1 part god.
What was Enkidu?
What? That's what I'm saying.
Was
That's
this man part?
But Bigfoot, as we all have heard, has incredible strength.
May I ask a question? What if Bigfoot's another creation, and of like Adam and Eve?
We're not gonna do that. No.
He was never invited back home.
Damn it, Scott.
Oh, look. Okay, we won't get into it, guys.
Editor, please cut that.
That's
All
great
right, so,
information.
back to the topic. Gilgamesh and Enkidu. So we're gonna shut up and we're gonna let this video play before Scott gets us into a hole that we can't get out of.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be good. Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Let's
Here we
look
go.
at it.
The Epic of Gilgamesh, which focuses much on the friendship between the civilized king Gilgamesh and the wild man Enkidu. But how did this dynamic duo first meet? Long ago, when mankind's first civilization had emerged in Mesopotamia, the city-state of Uruk was ruled by the great and powerful King Gilgamesh. While Gilgamesh certainly protected the city with his strength and bravery, he also bullied and exploited his people. The people of Uruk prayed to the gods, and the gods agreed that Gilgamesh had to be taught a lesson. You see, while Gilgamesh is a civilized man...
What are we looking at right here, Scott?
A very hairy man.
Possibly Bigfoot?
Go back a couple frames.
I mean, that's it right there.
I don't know. He looked pretty short when they were doing the zoom in.
I mean, but if we are looking at this image and there is no context,
Okay.
and no one says this is Enkidu, no one says anything, and you've never seen this image.
I
If
would
somebody shows you this image, your response is, what am I looking at?
an ancestor of Bigfoot.
Okay. I'll take that as a yes. Bigfoot.
of urban society, Enkidu lives as a wild man, a hairy primitive who lived among the wild animals, drinking with them from rivers and grazing on wild grasses. One day, a hunter in the wilds spots Enkidu and rushes to Uruk to tell Gilgamesh about the wild man. Intrigued, Gilgamesh sends a sacred prostitute named Shamat to go investigate. Shamat finds the wild Enkidu, and while he cannot speak, she manages to seduce him. Enkidu and Shamat spend 2 weeks together, and in this time, Shamat teaches the beast of a man how to speak and about civilized society and how it functions. Enkidu is amazed, but is broken-hearted when he now finds that his animal friends now flee when they see him. Beauty has tamed the beast, and Enkidu has successfully been domesticated. He can no longer return to the innocent, animal-like life he once lived. One night, Shamat tells Enkidu of Gilgamesh and his strength, and convinces the formerly wild man to go and fight him. And finally, the day of their meeting comes. On that day, Gilgamesh goes to exercise an ancient kingly rite that allows him to sleep with a bride on her wedding night. Very civilized. And at the same time, Enkidu arrives and blocks his path. The fight is long and brutal, but eventually both Enkidu and Gilgamesh find that they cannot make the other party yield. Tired, the two stop fighting and remark at each other's strength and martial prowess. Through commonality and combat, the two decide that to fight again would be a waste, and that they should instead become friends. The two new friends head off to Gilgamesh's palace for some hard-fought food and drinks, and Enkidu imparts on his new friend that he is depressed that he is no longer able to return to his old wild life, living amongst the animals peacefully.
Just like we do after we review footage. What do you think of that story?
I think it was a good story. I think it was a good story. I would definitely would like to know more about Enkidu and Gilgamesh, as far as if Enkidu told Gilgamesh anything about his
Like his
past or his
origins, or where he
origin or
came
stuff
from.
like that.
I mean, that's something that we
mean-
can definitely dive into. You know, try
But
to
yeah,
find
definitely,
a little
definitely,
more about.
definitely has me intrigued, has me wanting to go deeper into that rabbit hole.
Right on, man. Well, I think we've done a pretty good job here today, kind
Yeah,
of
for sure.
establishing the evidence that we can find about Bigfoot. Like I said, man, those Ron Moorhead tapes,
Yeah, those are
right
crazy.
over the top.
Those
But
those are crazy.
we really appreciate y'all hanging out with us, doing what we do. We hope that you found some type of entertainment, and also, most importantly, that you found some type of information that's useful to you, that you didn't know about Bigfoot, whatever it may be. But we thank y'all for being with us. I'm your boy L,
I'm your boy Scott.
and we'll see you next week on Weekly Dose of Weird. Peace.